A good man is a man who can protect and who can provide and who can serve, who can comfort, who can reprimand, who can discipline, whatever's necessary to make the world a little better because he passed through. The loud voices of this world are the 99% who don't understand exactly what you have to do. That's why when I speak and you don't understand me, it's probably a good thing, 'cause that probably means I'm in an area of life that you're not in. It is astounding how many people want to be spectacular in life, but also want to fit in and be normal. You are, by definition, aiming for average. Normal people get normal results. Weird people get weird results. You literally can't do what everyone else does and not expect to get what everyone else has. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results at some point. You're going to have to wake up and understand that any change you want to make is on you. And all of the time, all of the energy that you're pouring into, seeking validation from others, chasing their opinions and their likes, and hoping that people are going to be happy with you and you're going to win them over, all of that is a waste of your precious life. Put a player in survival mode and make his life difficult, he will create a paradise. But if you put a player on creative mode and give them easy times, that player will destroy the world. Serious people don't wait to do the things they feel they need to do. When they get an idea that is so great that they know it must be executed on, they don't wait until Monday or till the beginning of the year. They do it now. What the hell are we all waiting for? Start attacking life, waiting for the stars to align. Back when I was growing up, the song came out. All I need is a miracle. Well, guess what? That miracle ain't coming. There is no perfect time to start. You gotta start now with changing your life. We're all being tested in life. And guess what? This is one test you can't cheat on. We all have our own tests. Some of us are obese. Some of us are depressed. Some of us are insecure. You have extra gears that you're dealing with in life. And the other way to overcome it is for you and you alone to face it. You have to do your best work when you're the least motivated. In those days you don't want to do it, guess what you gotta do? You gotta set the fuck up and do it. Stay home. One of the major influences shaping the person you want to be is also one of the least understood. It is your association with others, the people you allow into your life. Have you ever thought about how others shape your life? The thought didn't even occur to me until Mr. Shelf said, "Jim, never underestimate the power of influence." Of course, he was right. The influence of those around us is so powerful, so subtle, so gradual, that often we don't even realize how it can affect us. Think about it. If you're around people who spend all their income, chances are excellent that you will become a spendthrift. If you're around people who go to more wrestling games than concerts, you're likely to join in with them. Such is the power of peer pressure. But it goes even further. If you're around people who think it's all right to cheat a little, you too might be persuaded to cut a few corners. People can really nudge you off course, until one day 10 years down the road, you wake up asking yourself, how did I get here anyway? And that's not a very happy moment. To avoid wasting time with the wrong crowd, you need to ask yourself 3 fundamental questions. 1. With whom do I spend time? 2. What are they doing to me? 3. Is this association okay with me? Don't dismiss these questions. Take a look at the time you spend with each of your major associates. Is it positive and constructive, or is it negative and destructive? Not sure? Then think about these things. What have they got you doing? What have they got you listening to? What have they got you reading? Where have they got you going? What have they got you thinking? How have they got you talking? How have they got you feeling? What have they got you saying? Finally, after you have really pondered these, ask yourself this one final question. Are my present associations helping me grow in the direction I have chosen through goal setting? If you are fortunate enough to answer yes to this question, I'm happy for you. But if you are not so sure, then it's time to evaluate your relationships with some of the key players in your life. It's so easy to dismiss this question of influence. The guy says, I live here, but it doesn't matter. I'm around these people, but they don't bother me. Well, he's wrong. Everything matters. This is a good phrase to remember. Everything matters. This book is different from many others because it deals with reality, not wishful thinking. In fact, one of the main purposes of this book is to get you to say, the days of kidding myself are over. I really want to know what I have become and what I am becoming. I want to know what my strengths and weaknesses are, what has power over me. What's influencing me? What I've allowed to affect my life. So take a look, and then another. Everything worthwhile deserves a second look, especially the power of influence. Perhaps you've heard the story about the little swallow. It was covering one eye with its wing and crying bitterly. An owl flew by and asked little bird, "What's wrong?" The swallow pulled away its wing and showed a gash where once it had an eye. Now I understand, hooted the owl, blinking. You're crying because the crow picked out your eye. No, replied the bird sadly, I'm not crying because the crow picked out my eye. I'm crying because I let him. Is there someone who is pecking away at your vision? Is there anyone who tries to blind you from seeing your dreams? Hey, it's easy to let influences shape our lives, especially negative influences. It's easy to let associations determine our direction. To let persuasion overwhelm us, to let tides overtake us, and to let pressures mold us. The question is this what you want? Are you becoming, achieving, and acquiring what you want, or are you letting others steal your dream? Dispulsification? If after analyzing your present relationships you determine that you have some weeds in your garden of association, there are a couple of things you can do. First, you can separate yourself from those people who are destructive to your well-being. I admit this is a tough thing to do, especially if it's a family member. But if you have someone who finds a great deal of pleasure in trying to peck away at your dreams, goals, or beliefs, get rid of his or her influence. Remember, it could be the choice that saves the quality of your life. Of course, life is rarely that simple. Sometimes we find ourselves having to spend time with unpleasant people, co-workers, business associates, and others. In those circumstances where you cannot fully disassociate yourself, try limited association. There are also those situations where superficially pleasant associations can have a long-term negative effect on our lives. If you spend 2 nights a week drinking with your buddies, your life may eventually spin dangerously out of balance. The consequences 5, 10, 20 years from now can be devastating. It's easy to remain mediocre. All you need to do is spend major time on minor things with minor people. Sophisticated people weigh their actions. They know what a major is and what a minor is. They don't often get confused by such things. Of course, sophisticated people do have casual friends. The difference is that instead of spending a great deal of time with them, they spend relaxed, relatively unimportant time with them. They just don't squander their time on minor friendships and good time Charlies. It's your life. You can spend your time with whomever you want and however you want, but I don't think you invested in this book for me to humor you. You must take a look at your priorities and values, including your associations, and evaluate them. Your time on this earth is too short to spend it less than wisely. Expanded association. From disassociation, let's move to a happier topic. Expanded association. Here's the law of expanded association. Spend more time with the right people. Who are those right people? That depends on your goals and objectives, but generally look for people of substance and culture, people who spend time reflecting on the meaning of life and who accomplish great things through discipline and perseverance. That's what Mr. Schoaf advised me shortly after we met. He said, if you truly want success, you've got to get around the right people. And then with a wry look, he added, of course in your present circumstances, you'll have to plot and scheme to do that. And that was true. I did have to plot and scheme to get around the right people. During those early days, when called upon to give a sales presentation, I would frequently park my disintegrating jalopy minus muffler several blocks away. Invariably someone would ask me, by the way Jim, how did you get here? To which I would respond, oh someone dropped me off. Of course, that someone was me dropping myself off in my noisy bunk. It's really not all that difficult to associate with successful people. Just get involved in your community. I have a friend who started the sales business. She then joined her town's Chamber of Commerce, became active on a few committees, and before she knew it, found herself invited to play tennis with some of the city's more influential people. You see, it's not so hard to create new associations. Also, as we discussed in an earlier chapter, make an investment in a rich person's appetite. Take a rich person out for a meal. There's no telling what you can learn in an hour or two of wealth-oriented talk. In expanding your associations, take a look at your life's priorities. It's called associating with a purpose. For example, find some successful people to help you with your success plan. Find some healthy people to encourage you to have an exercise and nutrition plan. Find someone who knows how to live to teach you the secrets of a rewarding lifestyle. And don't be embarrassed about cultivating the friendships of these people. Most successful people love to share their knowledge with others. It's probably why they're successful in the first place. Successful people seek out those they admire. They understand that inspiration and knowledge can be gained from the right type of association. I am no exception to this rule. I have such an association, a person with whom I like to spend as much time as possible. He's a big game hunter, a millionaire, a traveler, and an entrepreneur. He's also one of the world's great philosophers. My friend has many skills, but 2 are positively uncanny. First, he has the ability to absorb a day's events in minute detail. Not only does he remember each day, I believe he can also remember every day of his adult life. He is able to recall every book he's ever read. He seems to retain every fact he learns. If I had a choice of going to a foreign country myself, or having him visit and recount his trip to me, I would almost choose the latter. Why? Because he doesn't miss anything that's important. He absorbs every event like a sponge. His second talent is his expressiveness. When he returns from a trip, he describes in vivid detail the sounds and colors of the country, the customs and concerns of its people, the minor experiences and the major happenings of his journey. He can put all that he saw, touched, and felt into exciting, vibrant words. As he recounts a trip, his listeners can feel the crash of the waterfall, the cool breeze of the northern winds, the colors and smells of the cities and the countryside. What a gift he gives those of us privileged to know him. What value can one put on such a unique association? I don't know, but I can say with confidence that from our association, I've expanded my knowledge, my perception, my skill, my enterprise, and my lifestyle many times over. Where do you go for your intellectual feast? Pity the person who has a favorite restaurant, but not a favorite thinker. That person has taken care to feed his body but not his mind and soul. Today, thanks to Gutenberg, Marconi, and other pioneers in the field of recording information, we can also associate across the seas and throughout the centuries. Perhaps you can't meet the person, but you can read his words or listen to his recorded voice. Churchill, Aristotle, and Lincoln are no longer alive, but their words can still inspire and instruct. Association. It's one of the 7 strategies for wealth and happiness. Keep the weeds of negative influence from your life. Instead, farm the seeds of constructive influence. You will not believe the harvest of good fortune you will reap.